Hi, welcome back to Driven, guys. All right, let me ask our two gentlemen here. Apart from good looks, great power delivery, low fuel consumption, lots of horses, and attractive price tags, what else do you look for in a car?
Well, I think you've covered it all, bro. I mean, auntie, you know what I mean.
Well, I tell you what, I think for me, being a family man, the most important part of it is the safety feature of every car that we look at.
Correct, Shaz. You know, we have to be frank about this. A lot of Malaysian cars have been given a lot of flack about this.
Yeah, and some of our cars were even called tin cans. And who can forget a certain old motoring journalist who bashed one of our cars to a pulp?
Well, I guess all of that may change.
With Malaysia taking a step in the right direction when it comes to safety.
In the name of safety, automakers continue to develop basic life-saving features, including airbags, anti-lock braking systems or ABS, and electronic stability program or ESP.
But here's the reality check. Features such as the SRS airbag, also known as a supplementary restraint system, are just that, supplementary. In the end, once an accident happens, life or death may hinge on the vehicle's structure. The crash test studies how a particular vehicle will react to various kinds of impacts at different speeds.
Major automakers around the world usually perform tests at their own facilities. Occasionally, with the assistance of independent organizations such as the European New Car Assessment Program or Euro NCAP. Data collected from these tests allow safety ratings to be awarded to cars, so consumers like you and me will know how safe the car really is.
Local automakers like Proton recently performed crash tests on its Zora in Italy. But how much longer can Malaysian automakers rely on overseas crash test facilities?
Well, the Malaysian Institute of Road Safety Research, or MIROS, might just have the answer. They've just recently conducted Malaysia's very first outdoor passenger vehicle crash test at the Malaysian Institute of Aviation Technology in Dengkil, Selangor.
We are merely 3 years old, but we need to grow fast because road safety is a very serious and critical issue in the country. We have 6,500 people dying every year. So the crash test that we had is one testimony that we are able to realize that potential.
The inaugural test involved a Pro2 Alza which was crashed at 30 km per hour against an underrun fitted at the back of a stationary trailer. A peculiar test, but very valid indeed. Malaysian studies show a significant number of road accidents are caused by passenger vehicles hitting stalled trailers on highways.
Within that design framework, we then came up with a car crashing behind a lorry, and we wanted to show the benefit of having an underrun.
MIROS also awards the Malaysian Vehicle Assessment Program or MyVAP to vehicles that conform to MIROS safety standards.
We feel in order for the car industry in Malaysia to be at par with the international players, we introduced MyVAP. Okay? But the difference between MyVAP and NCAP, MyVAP only uses secondary data. We actually refer to the manufacturer's record on the crash test that they did overseas.
It's already awarded both the Proton Xora and Pro2 Alza a 4 out of 5 star ratings, but there's still room for skepticism, as MIROS admits the ratings were awarded from secondary data. In the case of the Xora, the crash test data from Italy was used as the primary source. The question now is, does MyVAP reach international or NCAP standards?
If the crash test was for NCAP similar requirement, of course it is not sufficient. It is not for NCAP purposes.
Well, I guess Malaysia has to start somewhere. Fortunately, MIROS is aware of its shortcomings and that its facilities must improve in order to be world-class.
Hopefully, when our own crash test facilities are up, and therefore MyVAP will be able to be independent of data from other side.
Part of MIROS' efforts is to launch its own purpose-built crash test facility in Malacca that fulfills the highest standards.
A lot of our manufacturers around the region has to go very far. So by having one around here, we will be able to definitely save costs. We do not want people to belittle Malaysian cars because it does not have safety features. Okay, that is our ultimate aim.
Driven's conclusion? Well, we believe there shouldn't be anything makeshift, especially when it comes to Malaysian safety. It looks like MIROS does have a long journey ahead. But with big dreams to make Malaysia a crash test hub in ASEAN, we've got to start somewhere. As long as MIROS is transparent with its policies, standards, and results, slow and steady wins the race.